You would think I would have learned my lesson last time. I'm sorry. Let us pray. Heavenly God, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight. Amen. Grace and peace to you on this Palm Sunday. I find the juxtaposition of the gospel reading where Jesus is treated as God in human flesh, and Paul's letter to the Philippians text this morning, where Paul proclaims that Jesus did not put himself in the same equality with God the Father. This juxtaposition has me in knots. The good news and the bad news from all around the world this past week feels a bit the same. Bombings have happened all over, including Christian churches in Egypt, our own U.S. attacks in Syria, the attack in Stockholm. Yet lovely things have also happened this week. The university and library in Fez, Morocco, formerly to have only 4 people to hold keys, 4 locks, and a copper door, has finally been opened to the public. Opening day for baseball, and the Cubs are already 3-2. Not to mention, it's Palm Sunday. We get to wave around palms and celebrate Jesus as King, who rode in on a donkey from the Mount of Olives. We get to gather in our place of worship and sing praises to the Son of God. So this juxtaposition doesn't have to seem a little haphazard. It can shake us to our core. Jesus rides in on a donkey. But Jesus is God incarnate. Those things don't seem to line up as normal comparisons and contrasts do. Jesus, at the end of this week, will die on the cross and be resurrected. That is something miraculous. That's something life-changing and ground-shaking. Jesus riding in on a donkey really isn't, is it? The answer is yes, it is. Yes, it is. Jesus on a donkey, not some noble steed coming in like a white knight, but on a donkey. Something used to just pack things on a trail, maybe to help out in the fields. A donkey. Not just that, but people put their cloaks in front of this donkey. This morning in Sunday school, we talked about how it would be very difficult for us to put down our sweatshirts or our jackets in front of maybe a donkey who comes through a parade because of things that donkeys might leave on the ground. But we would try, because that would be how important Jesus coming to us would feel. That we would let our jackets go and maybe get hooped on. Now, I am a millennial, so it could be an age difference thing, but ladies, has anyone ever laid down their cloak for you to walk over a puddle or anything like that, like I see in the black and white movies? No. Me neither. Someone has never done that for me. But has someone maybe given you the kind gesture of sharing their blanket, or giving you their coat when you're cold, letting you wear it? Maybe a Letterman's jacket back in the day. Yeah, most of us have experienced that. And that right there is a tiny act compared to letting a donkey with hooves full of dirt walk all over our clothes. Even risking that possible accident for the donkey. What would possess someone to be willing to give up such an important piece of clothing for a donkey to step on? See, cloaks weren't just coats like today, but they're more like superhero capes. They come around front and they clasp like a hobbit in the Lord of the Rings. Just as God, true human Jesus, is always puzzling, our letter to the Philippians calls us to proclaim loudly that Jesus has world-restoring power of God. Yet at the same time, if Jesus is this self-giving servant, then that really is the true embodiment of God. not the world-restoring power, but the humble servant. And if this is true, that true embodiment of God as redeeming, life, society restoring, then we have work to do as people of the church. Our reading from the letter to the Philippians this morning, far from being a touching portrait of a self-effacing Jesus, speaks of Jesus' radical embodiment of divine, redemptive, and restorative power. The power of self-outpoured service to one another. As Princeton Seminary professor Sally Brown writes, Jesus as true man and true God. The truth is, Jesus as God in flesh is and remains fully part of the divine. How could Jesus, with any consistency, decide to not be godlike? Well, the fact is he doesn't. Jesus' choice to live as a servant is not a deferral of his divine nature, but rather the truest expression. Our God serves us every day. Our God saves us every day. Whether we wave palms, put down cloaks, God loves us no matter what, every day. So we too, as people of God, we are called to love, no matter how hard. We're called to serve, no matter how hard. We're called to be in the same mind as Christ, as Paul writes in our text for today. We're called to humble ourselves, which is very hard. We're called to be like Christ to one another. We're called to exalt God above every name, no matter what comes our way. Servant leadership is hard. Being loving to someone you don't like is hard. Serving others who aren't gracious in return is hard. But when we think about what Jesus did for us, humbling himself, washing the feet of the disciples, dying on a cross, showing us the true power of God, that all seems a little more doable and a little less hard. Jesus did all of that for you and for me. We can at least do what Paul's letter to the Philippians says, and highly exalt him and give him the name that is above every name, so that at the name of Jesus, every knee should bend, in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue should confess that Jesus is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Now that might be hard. But it's a little easier when we know what Jesus does for us. When we know that Maundy Thursday and Good Friday and Easter Sunday are on the horizon. That this is the beginning of the holiest week. That this is the beginning of where we can proclaim love. Constant love. Our world is in troubling times. We most likely have war on the horizon. But we are in this together. We are the body of Christ. We yearn for peace and mercy for every single person. We see poverty and injustice every day. But contributing to that injustice or any form of oppression leads us farther away from Jesus, farther away from that palm procession, farther away from God. We can let our light of our faith, be shining in the distance to lead someone to hear, to lead someone to a Bible study, to lead someone just to be in fellowship with you. And that light grows brighter as someone gets closer. That light grows brighter no matter what, no matter how hard it is. Christ did the unimaginable for us. Let us love as if we are in one mind through Christ. And calling back into our hymn for the day, we can be as servants to one another. We can be as Christ and let love thrive. Amen.